Yeah.
How was your first day at Lenana?
Lenana.
You meet all these people from all over the country.
For information, the guy who... so I was up. My dad didn't have time to take me to school that day, unfortunately. I think he was out of the country. So I was taken by my mom. It was still okay.
Yeah.
And everybody's pleasant and happy, and you can see, there's joy and things are looking
Lenana,
very nice.
It's Lenana, bro.
Very good. The hall is clean. Then you finish, and then you get your trunk out. Then they open the trunk, and they find all these funny, illegal things, biscuits. I don't know. These ones can't go. They're telling my mom, no, I don't need this. Then they remove all the things which are like junk and all. Then I said, how much money? He says, I think she's giving me like maybe 400 shillings. They're like, no. 100 shillings is enough. For the term. 100 shillings. Like, wow. They give 100. They don't even give it to me. They give to the housemaster. 100. And then they call the house prefect to come and help me to the house. And who was a house prefect? I was lucky that, I got inducted into people who I had ambitions from a long time ago. The guy called Omar Hassan, who was vying for
the Mombasa governor.
Yes. That was my house prefect, the one who came to pick my box. It was like, hey, so we started talking, how are things, whatever. In the 10 minutes that walked from the hall to the house, he had given me a rundown of the school, what to expect and all these things. And don't worry, we'll be together. And very smooth, very good guy. Then I get to the house, and then people are not around. Of course, they're in class. And then I think at 4 o'clock, everybody just descends to the house. That the first day, that was the last time I saw of all my belongings in the trunk. That was the last time I saw them.
It was that bad?
It was bad. It was crazy.
The charts, the new clothes, everything.
Comes, these are new things. Then they don't even ask you to open. A guy stepped in the middle of the trunk. It's a metallic trunk.
I don't know if they call it, they used to call it that way. They used to say butterfly.
Yes.
They made it open itself.
Yes. They don't use a key. They just pick the things from the side. And now we are equal. Everybody's the same level. There's nobody who has anything new and all. And like, hey, I don't have a shirt. A guy throws for you some old shirt he has been putting on for 3 years.
Can't walk, nigga.
No. So I learned right from the beginning, this life is how you maneuver, how you survive.
And this is the real world now.
It's the real world. Hey, your folks are gone. The parents, whatever, they've gone. Now
everyone wants to take what you have. And I think that's how even out here everyone is operating. Yeah.
So you have to just take care of your things. This thing of crying, now you want to start calling people from home. We didn't even have cell phones.
How do you start?
There was no call box. And you can write a letter, yes, but you should take a week and a half to get to where it's going. So who are you going to tell?
And how many times will you do this? Yes. Because if you come with the new ones, the process is the same.
Yes. So you find your level. Basically, you find your level and realize, okay, I have people here. These are colleagues of mine from ones. We can survive together. Start making friendships day one because you have to survive. There's a guy of giving an alarm when the fourth formers are coming. He sees them, he whistles or gives some, like monkeys do. Quickly, and we know what needs to happen, guys. Those for hiding will hide under the beds. The other guys, you learn tactics. You start again remembering how to pull people together, teamwork for a worthy cause. We are now together defending. So high school was very rough in getting in. And because I also had come from a bit of a sheltered background, because life had been...
A privilege.
Yeah, life had been a bit okay. Then I realized that I'm not going to start writing to this fellow who used to read my notes, telling him the way school is bad. There's no way I was going to start telling him. That's why I said, I'll survive through this thing. So 2-3 weeks, 1 month, I think 2 months. By the time the second month was done, I was okay. I was like,
So that's the monetization that you got, or?
Well, that's just a tip of it. It was worse. There were many other things.
What was the worst?
There were... Wow. there were many. Let me try and see which one was the worst of them. That one was bad because they stripped me of everything that I had right at the beginning. So now I was starting from zero. But then the money disappeared.
The 100 bob?
Yes, the 100 bob disappeared. So I never had any way of surviving. And people are, they have to buy bread to supplement food and everything.
Yeah.
I have nothing.
Yes.
Yeah. I tried to speak English there. People start looking at me like, this one.
What kind of English is
because you're trying to speak good English. Everybody else is speaking local, colloquial, broken English. Yeah. So I'm wondering, my colleagues, because you see, a national school, people are from all over the place.
Yes, true.
Yeah. So like now you start being described, that guy who pretends to speak fluent
and
English.
For a guy, sometimes speaking English,
now it becomes a liability.
It looks foreign.
It becomes a liability. So I went back into my Swahili, which was still fine. But then I had to call, you're given, people have come from training for rugby, you're given the shoe, the boot is removed when it is stinking. So I call your mom, explain to her why you're starving in school. A guy wakes you up at 2 a.m. They've come from studying. Those are fourth formers.
Yeah.
Gives you a bag, paper bag, tells you, go and pack for me 4 darknesses from out there and take to the other house on the other side.
Yeah.
The house is, the school is 287 acres.
Yeah.
One house is on that end. The other house is about 15 minutes walk. At 2 a.m. in your short and some vest and slippers. You don't even know which house. Then you get to the other house, you realize, whoa, these are set up because those guys have also just come to the house after reading. So you meet with the house prefect, whoever it is. Tells you, in fact, I was told, I'm getting some help. We need to flood this room. Now you start washing the rooms. At 2 a.m., 3 a.m. It was terrible because those are not things that I had expected of a national school.
You thought these intellectuals claimed their cream from the country.
What madness is this?
Yeah.
So it's almost 30 years ago. So there were many terrible experiences. But I remember those ones because they were highlighted right from the good thing about our mental minds.
Yeah.
They grasp onto the good things tighter than the bad things.
Yeah.
Especially if the bad things are not too traumatic. They release them. Because the mind doesn't have time to keep holding on to negatives. Unless you decide yourself, you want to record the negative things and keep reading them over and over and entrenching them in your mind. Otherwise, the human mind has a way of just filtering out the negatives and leaving you with the pleasant memories. So I had, by the end of first form, I had made friends across. I think word went around. I was happy that my dad didn't drop me because it would have caused a fiasco. Because they are seeing the car, GKs and all, it would have been an issue. Now that they came to realize much later because of the name, and then I think this guy Hassan went and told guys in his class, we have some serious guys in my house. Now that caused chaos because suddenly people are coming, they are bringing you stuff, they want to curry favor. So I started getting a few privileges.
Were there guys from your village?
Yes, school? There were a few who I realized later that my dad had actually helped to join the school. So that was helpful.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was helpful because they were like, your dad was the one who did this. The other one tells you, my dad works with your dad. I don't know what. So there was a good. Now I was imagining in my head, if he was an evil guy, I would really have suffered.
You would have paid for it dearly.
I tell you, your dad is one who frustrates my dad at work. It would have been quite crazy. But they were like, helpful guy, he helps things. So it calmed me, bring you, you're starving, he has bread, they get me bread. The other guys start asking me, Kwani, what have you done to these guys? I'm like, I've not done anything, I don't have anything, they stripped me of everything.
Yes.
But they're like, okay, at least they understood. The only downside, and which was a risk, was I got so sucked up into that life that I found myself now with the guys of drugs, guys that they are weed. There was a supply of all sorts of things. Now, the trick was, if they can get me into that,
you're good,
I'm a
you're
supplier.
hooked.
Yeah, because I have the means to keep getting them these things. And
did you use drugs?
Sadly, I lived that life for at least 1 year, the first form. I was in that life for
you are a customer.
Going across the boundaries. Got to drink some illicit brews and all these things for the whole of first form, actually. Yeah, I was a bit crazy. And at that time, I think also my dad was so busy, so he didn't really notice what was going on. My mom was, at that time, had moved back to upcountry. She was now heading towards retiring. So she also didn't know. But I was in boarding school. And I'm thinking these are what big people do.
Yes,
I'm a grown-up
teenager now. Trying to
find my space in the world. So that was a transition.
So you go there. Is your interest in science still the same, or?
Yes. At that time, as I began, of course, I knew the languages. I would never have a challenge or a worry there. But I also picked up mostly biology because I was interested in. I actually wanted to become a doctor. So I felt that I had the heart to give, to help, to do all these things. And I thought I had some good brain on me as well. So I said,
why do I feel like this one will end in a funny way?
I want to be a doctor.
The reality.
So anyway. What changed everything was that slip up in Form 1 because, as you know, in high school, Form 1 is mostly definitions and things. For all there were like 15 subjects.
Yes.
And then for us in Form 2, you cut them down to like 10, I think. You dropped 5. And then Form 3 now you specialized in, I think, 7 or something. 8, I can't remember. So in Form 1, definitions and all, that was all we used to do. And I realized
all of that.
These ones I don't even need to read much. I know these things, man. See, I was in the top percentile. I think the 10 percentile of admission. I was in that top cream.
across the country or just
in the school? No, in Lanana.
Okay.
In Lanana. So I knew,
You're
this
good.
one is,
I'm a
no
genius.
worry here, man. Can do my thing, So I'll catch up. I know what I'm doing. Hey, no, that life was crazy. By the time I get into second form, now I'm so deeply ingrained in these mad, crazy things that guys are doing, breaking bounds every other day, doing stuff that by the time I'm trying to recover now to start getting into proper schoolwork, was in like Form 2, second term. I don't have my notes in the whole of Form 1.
What?
So I don't have anything I'm building on. Now they are moving on to the next step.
So there is no time to give you a break to catch up.
No, because things are moving.
Yeah.
Now I had to start trying to put in double. By the time I was realizing, how far I was, it was actually my mom who pointed out and he said, hey, your dad has been seeing the grades. You joined. You are number 25 out of 225. Second term, you are number 40. Third term, you are number 90. Okay, that's Form 1 has ended. Form 2 first term, I already had breached 200. I was number 200.
So 90 is not the worst case scenario here.
No.
I thought 90 is.
No. Form 2, second term, I was at 210 out of 235. That's 235 across the whole stream. Yes, I was 210.
What?
My mom is like, what this guy has said? He has this farm and things and cattle at home.
There's a lot of
Can't
work for you.
understand why we are spending all this money. And those days it was, I think fees was like 25,000 a term. It wasn't small money.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, early 90s wasn't small money.
Yeah.
Instead of wasting this money, he could buy 2 cows with that money and you go and take care of the cows.
Yes, and become
and things will be
why
okay.
should we take another cow to school?
Let's go. There we go. Anyway, so I realized she was serious because she told me everyone else has given up. They've said it's not worth it. You've chosen this path. It is just me who is here now. It's between you and I. And when you're doing
the cabinet has sat down.
Yes.
They have decided
this is unsustainable.
She was really a diplomatic person.
Yeah, she was. She was a teacher, so she was very good. But she told me,
no wonder.
Every time kids do well, they are kids of the father. Every time kids fail in life, they are kids of the mother.
Yeah,
Especially if it is a house that has both parents. The father takes credit for the good stuff. The mother is dumped on the bad stuff. Yeah. Mtoto wa mama, the one who has failed is the child of the mother. Told me, now we are stuck, you and I. Yeah, it's just the two of us. Because these are the fellows, which much as they were in poorer schools, they've done well in life and they have moved on. Now it is just you and me. And you've been told.
And I cannot be taking your blames.
No, that it is, you are mine. So it's true you're my child, but we can't be being referenced like this. So out of my love for her, because she stood out for me, I changed and said, no, I have to improve.
This needs to change.
Yeah, I have to improve. I have to do something about my school work. So now I started doing extra. I would go writing my notes afresh, getting books from people. That whole of second term, two, try and now get all my stuff in order. I was still getting my E's in, biology and things. I was like, man.
But things were not adding up.
This dream of mine. Yeah, because now I don't have the notes. I have gaps. So
and you could not borrow this from your colleagues?
No, because sometimes you can't see the writing. The writing for high school kids, man. You can't read the other guy's writing. So I have to look for my own way. So I get the books, I try and start reading, go to the library, spend time. Now I have to invest. That discipline that I had released, I had to now bring it back, get it back and take the pain, the immediate pain for the future benefit.
Yeah.
So I struggled through that. By the time we're getting into second form, end of second term, I think I had gotten to like midpoint. So I was now back to about 180. So I've gotten about 30 people that I've beaten. Okay, that's good. I'm improving now.
Yeah.
I'm not bottom 30. Those ones used to always be called to the principal every beginning of the term. If you are anyone from 200 to down there, you just go and receive free canes just because you're in that section. Yeah. But that was the way to
just
live.
for fun.
Yeah, not fun. You've qualified. You've qualified for the cane, so you go.
What about the top 10 or top
No, those ones nobody used to talk about. They would always be rewarded anyway.
Okay.
So then I now started changing the friends, people I was hanging out with, because high school, the biggest danger, even in boarding school, is just people, the crowd you keep. Yeah. If you keep the wrong guys, by the time you realize
you have the wrong results.
So far, they usually say, 2 cabbages don't make a piece of meat. So if you're together there,
that's a new information.
You're killing each other saying, I'm better than this guy, but he's also a cabbage.
Do you think that's also where we are as African countries? We always compare ourselves with the cabbages.
Yeah. They usually say, we are giants among dwarfs. Yeah, you're the tallest dwarf. They say, hey, Kenya is doing well, but who are we measuring against? We're measuring against Uganda. And that's not to talk badly,
No,
against
of course,
Tanzania, against Uganda.
No.
Yeah?
Of course, Uganda is not doing well.
That's the truth.
Let's be honest.
Let's be honest, yeah. So if we were to come out and say, look, this is not our peer, we released or lost our peers with the Singapores of this world, the Koreas of this world. They took our blueprint and they went and did amazing things, which means the intellectual, we have it. It's the execution that is the problem.
Yeah,
we have all the brilliant ideas, but we just can't find a way.
Yeah, even for the case of Uganda, to bring context, is that if despite it's only that they have enough food.
Yeah, they're self-sufficient. They're not starving.
Not that they don't have smart people, but the system put in place, it's really, really hard even to implement that brilliant mind in Uganda.
Yeah. I mean, the freedom is not there.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about our situation, the way we are in a bad place, but the truth is, man, I can stand out here and start shouting mad things. Nobody will arrest me.
For sure.
Yeah, so long as I'm not breaking the law, nobody will arrest me. We can decide tomorrow we're going to march to Parliament. We just inform the Central Police guys and we march there. We state our views and we go back home. Uganda, man, we might not leave our house, man.
Even our watchman has a gun.
Yeah, so, and it's part of the security system.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So
now you can. Your guess is as good as mine.
So yes, having realized that indeed the guys I was hanging around were pulling me down, so I had to now shift a bit. Thankfully, the guys who had influenced me were mostly the fourth formers in Form 1 had left. So now I got some respite. Got a few people who pulled me and said, hey man, for the pride that your dad has done and all these things, man, this is not right. Yeah, you need to get back on track. So I got back on track.
Yeah.
By the time I'm getting into third form, I think I had reformed to the extent where now my dad was like, yeah, let the guy do another term. We see how things are. He even came
before we buy the cows.
Yes. He even came and visited. He had never visited me in school. He came to visit me in third term.
Yeah.
Ever since I joined Form 1, he had never come. Because by the time he wanted to come like in second term or third term, I was doing so badly, he didn't want to be associated.
With these...
he can come guys in the bottom of the class.
No. What do they call it?
What am I coming to see here? So, but my mom came every time. As I tell you, those failures are the mothers. So she came every time. She just, look, man, look, as I told you, man, it's just us.
Save the face.
She saved my life, truth be told. On that aspect for school, she saved my life. Because after that,
is she still there?
No, she passed on last year.
Okay.
But anyway.
So,
those things, life.
No, mom, they never cease to be moms.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Till you can, even at 40, she'll pitch you. What are you doing?
Yes. Fathers, when we grow up, we can talk man to man. But mothers will still be having that.
There's a respect level.
Yes.
And then there's an awe, especially, not to talk negatively in gender-wise, but especially for boys. Yeah, mothers are special.
Yes.
They are, if you really want to crush a man,
play with their mother.
Play with the mother. Especially if they, the mother is alive. When they're not there, it's not too big a deal. But if they've grown up all along and the mother has been there, the father, he will even help you to beat up the father. But the mother. Anyway, so we went through that. He came and visited. Told me, I've had good things, Mom has been telling me. So all this time when I would go home on holiday, he would be very busy. So we would never get to talk. He never wanted to associate at all with me. So I went back to writing letters. So now I'm in high school, so I write 4 full
communication.
Scaps. 4 full scaps, both sides. Narrating everything. Then he answers with 1 paragraph. Just 1 paragraph. Went to school to learn. Supposed to do this, that, the other. I think you're still far off from those ideals. The day that you get back on track there, I know we can have a good conversation. And he lives it there. So I can't ask for money even for shopping. I can't give one, but So now I had to go through proxy. My mom, hey man, now
things are not good.
So she'll channel from what my brothers are being bought for. She put some aside. Don't tell me that. Don't tell him that you got anything. Just say you went the way you are. So it would be like that. Till that time in third form, and he came and we sat down and we had an adult conversation. I asked,
what do you want?
This life is yours. Whatever you want to make of it, make. As we are there to support. You want to be a farmer? I'll support. The only thing I can't support is breaking the law. So you can't be like a thug. You can't be a drug dealer. Things that are breaking the law, you can't. But if you tell me you want to be a tout. I will look for money, we buy a matatu. You want to be
things that are making sense.
Yeah, whatever your heart
Don't have
wants.
to struggle here with this.
This thing is not for everyone. He told me. Education is not for everyone.
And at the back of his mind, he knows these guys are brilliant guys just playing around.
He knew. Then he gives me examples of guys, from the village, so and so. Even him,
he's doing well. He has a plot.
Yes.
He's married.
He's the one who's bringing us. He has 3 children.
Finish here,
don't worry.
You'll be way ahead.
You can also do the same. And at least you have good education. You can be speaking English for people there. I looked at
in this conversation, you didn't burst into laugh?
No, I couldn't laugh. It was very serious. By the way, it was serious. So I could see.
But right now, you think about it
I laugh.
These are true conversations.
But it was one of those life-changing conversations. And sometimes you just need somebody to steer you back. So 2 things, to steer you back, and another one who believes in you.
Yeah.
Even when you don't believe in yourself. Because my mom believed in me.
So are you saying that having 2 parents actually brings the balance, proper balance in someone's life?
People, when you're growing up, truth be told, people from the full families, they have an advantage.
Yeah,
that's just the way of life. They have an advantage because they're pulling off from 2 sources. Yeah. So where you can have maybe a single perspective where it's only a mother, she can only give as much as a light can shine. And the other guy, the father, even him, his torch only goes in a certain direction.
Yeah.
That's the only thing he can see.
Yeah.
You see.
Yeah.
When you have both of them, the mother is seeing wide beam, the father is seeing narrow beam, straight tunnel vision.
Yeah.
When you combine the 2, you go much farther.
Yeah.
So if you have none, it's even now harder.
Yeah.
Because now you're depending on other people's lights. And sometimes these guys, where they are going, where they're actually pointing their torch, is into darkness. It's the wrong place. But then they are the only people you have. This is the only light you can see. So you move on with it until the day when you're in a place where you can actually gauge and say, this is not the direction I want to go. So I still profess that it helps when both parents are there. If there are such homes, they have an advantage. That is not to say they will be perfect.
Yes.
And that is not to say people who come from broken or non-parent families will not do well. Sometimes they actually do much better because they are forced to embrace their Goliath much earlier.
Yeah.
And there's something about embracing your Goliath earlier in life. You set yourself on a trajectory, the David trajectory. You know where your smooth stones are, you know where your sling is, you know how to swing it. The rest of these fellows start realizing, where do I get the stones late in life? Because that's when they've been exposed to now, there you go, leave my house, go and make a life for yourself.
When they're tall enough for
like, man, where do I start? You're starting when the other fellow has been doing this for 30 years. So you see, there's always that advantage.
Yeah.
However, there's also the balance where, while this guy the father is picking the 5 stones for himself, he shows the son or the daughter. Yeah, this is where you get the stones. So you see, you'll still have an advantage over the other guy who had to go discover his own stones and how to swing for himself. Half the time before he swings, he's hit himself twice or thrice because that thing you have to have mastery.
Yes.
If you don't swing it properly, you can actually commit
suicide. It's not like a gun where you point and shoot.
You swing like this, it comes back straight at you. Then the guy's like, are you swinging or are you killing yourself? What happened? And now you have a parent who is swinging for you because they are embracing the Goliath on your behalf and showing you. Now you start building the strength and the muscles early enough. So I would always say, I can never advocate for, broken families, that's the way to go. I know new age nowadays, yes, we're saying anything goes, but that's not the ideal. The ideal is that if you can get the ideal situation, please thrive in it.
Yeah, it's hard, but you should be able to.
You should. If you don't have it, don't kill yourself because it's not ideal. No, don't lie there on the ground saying, now you see, so and so has because they have a father and a nonsense. Nonsense.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people who've done so well in life. They were orphans from a very early age. They never even knew their parents, and they are thriving. There are others who have been babied up to age 60. And they are a mess. I mean, I can name names, just not here, where they were given everything.
Yes.
And they kept looking up to this father. And he kept providing.
Until
Till he left. When he left, then they're like, hey, oops.
Where do I start?
Yeah, at 60. Now you're starting to fight about inheritance and things. At 60, you never ever did anything for yourself. So that's the challenge. It's the difference. But if you get somebody who gives you the balance, you're better off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you did your KCSE. Yes. Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education.
Yes.
And you performed really well.
It wasn't really well. I did very well in my non-sciences. So first, the doctor dream died in third form. when I realized for me to excel to go onwards to to be a doctor, I need to have both. I need to have all three sciences.
Yes, and perform
Physics,
really well.
Yeah, physics, chemistry, and biology. I had already dropped physics in Form 2. Yeah, through advice from the guys who are perpetually high.
The peer pressure.
Yes. So they told me, no.
Don't need
physics? Something like that. By the time I was realizing it, this is third form, there was no way I could rescue. So by extension also, the chemistry also started wavering. Yeah. So I was left with only biology. I was like, okay, this probably won't work. But I said, anyway, we'll make good. So first was called to uni, but I was called for education. I remember I was called to KU to do education. Coincidentally, one of my brothers had been to KU for education. My dad had been a dean of students, KU. So it's like, this is okay. Oh, the amazing thing is that he was shocked that I passed. He was shocked beyond, because from third form, he always knew, this one will just, just go through and we just finish school and see what else he can do. Then when the grades came out, he actually bought me a card. And he had never bought anybody a card in the family for doing an exam.
What was that?
My dad.
What did he buy?
A success card.
I see.
A congratulations card. Yeah, those big, massive things. But I still have it, by the way, somewhere.
Nice.
So those things I look up to, I'm like,
very special.
Yeah, we did something. Then when he said, because I told him, I had wanted to be a doctor. I'm so disappointed.
Don't worry. You performed more than I expected.
You have no idea. You have no idea what I was expecting. So we had a conversation and he told me what his expectations had been. So I was like, okay. It helped that my mom had my back, because if this was the case and it had filtered through to me, I would have done very poorly. I would have been like, if he has given up, so what's the point? What am I struggling about? Let me leave it. But my mom was like, no, you can be anything.
Yes.
Just keep striving.
Yes.
So finished that, and then I spent the whole of the following year. It was an election year. So now I was in full campaign mode with my dad. So we went through that campaign, running for election, finished, he got in. And then now he said, okay, usually we used to wait 1 year before you go to campus.
Yeah.
So after finishing the 1 year, now he asked me, okay, so are we going to KU or what's your idea? I said, I've tried to change the program. I don't want to be a teacher, blah, blah, blah. He was like, okay, what do you want to do? But what I wanted to do, computer science and everything, was not available for my grade. And we didn't have parallel those days. So it's like, okay, you will just need to go to a college and do what you can. Then we step up from there into university. Yeah. So
that's when you joined
That's how it happened.
The diploma program?
Yes. Did the diploma program for information systems. I was at the TBK school called Kenya's School of Monetary Studies, Thika Road. Did that. I remember the bomb blast happened when I was up that way. Yeah, that's 97.
98.
98, yes. Did that. Finished that diploma. Told me, okay, now we can go. Two of my bros by that time were in the US. I was like, okay, you can join your brothers. It's up to you what you want to do. I'm like, let me try and get some work experience first, and then we can see what to do. So he plugged me into the census program. So I joined Kenya Bureau of Statistics and ran the census program for 1999. With that, counting people, just understanding, okay, that's how demographics work. How many poor people, how many people own a TV set, a radio, very bleak figures those days.
Did they check a boat?
No, those days, no. That was ambitious. We were not checking boats by then. Radio and TV was as far as they went. I didn't even check cell phones or anything. Anyway, it was a good exercise to open my mind to how government works. Because from that is how all the planning happens, all the funding,
resources,
all the plans,
allocation.
yes, everything, even the sessional papers that you think about. Yes. If they actually read the data and decide to apply. Having data is one thing.
Converting that into information and knowledge
and picking insights is a
something
different thing. A lot of those things used to just sit on shelves. So we did the census. So UNDP is the one that funded. Okay, so who cares? I remember the census we did, was it for that year when we were doing work in April, we were being paid January salary. We were doing in May, we were being paid February salary, because somebody clever decides to take the UNDP money as a lump sum,
invested,
puts it in a bank account.
It happens even today, actually.
Yes. So he pays 3 months late. He's making money off our salaries.
And it's a lot of money.
And our money was not much. It was, I think we paid 500 bob a day or something.
But if you multiply that...
of course, by the number of people.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. So we're just making money, man. I'm like,